Hello, everyone. Uh, we now welcome Dr. Mahwish Adnan. She's currently a PGY1 in psychiatry at the Texas Tech University. Dr. Adnan graduated from Dow Medical College in 2006, and she's here to tell us about her journey of matching into psychiatry after going unmatched for 6 cycles. She also has to her name more than 25 publications and has also pursued a diploma in research and psychotherapy. We welcome you, Dr. Adnan.
Thank you, Hansini, and thank you, everyone. As you guys know, my name, for the math journey was a long journey for me. It was not very easy, and it took me multiple cycles and multiple steps to finally match last year. So I'll be happy to answer any of the questions if you guys have at the end. So let me share the brief of my story so that everybody can get some idea. So as I mentioned, I graduated in 2006. Then I was getting married and I moved to Canada. And Canada is a different kind of territory. It's not an easy like thing to do to become like a board certified over there. They have a very limited residency spots. And on the other hand, my dream was to pursue to train in US. So I started my journey, but because of the financial restraints and things going on in my life, I hold on for a while. And then I restarted after a while and completed diploma in psychotherapy because that was my primary interest in psychiatry. I applied first time in 2016 and I left unmatched. Then every year I put some effort, like I improve my profile by doing research, doing more observerships, making connections, doing more and more clinical work. That helped me, and ultimately, and there are a lot of research I did through virtual platforms, and ultimately all these things were really helpful for me to get matched into the program I'm currently in. And I feel that the kind of journey I have even right now when I'm in doing residency is helping me because that gives me a lot of skills to deal even during my residency. So this is just a brief about me, and if anybody has any questions, I will love to answer.
That was indeed a very inspiring journey, Dr. Mahwish. I had a question for you. What kept you going through all of this and all the red flags?
Sorry, what do you say? I cannot hear
What
you.
kept you? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
I just wanted to ask you what kept you going through all of this?
I think I really want to do that, and I think like one thing is like I think my amazing mentors. I got people in my journey who were extremely motivated, and I was very fortunate that I worked with Dr. Mansouri, and so I think like the whole kind of environment and also the strong I have a very strong target in my mind that I have to do it despite of being multiple time unmatched. I keep telling myself I'm going to do it. So I think that would help a lot um, to like overcome all the obstacles.
Yes, I think to be perseverant in your efforts is very important in this journey, as is very evident in your journey. We have a few questions in the chat box.
Sure.
One of them asks, did you ever think it's time to pack up and find something else? And did you have a plan B in mind?
Many times I think like that. It's not just like whenever I unmatched, it was something in my mind, and I think it's not unnatural that somebody had that in my mind, somebody have in their mind. And I think the main thing is like I was focusing mainly in psychiatry, so I never tried any other speciality a lot. Like maybe few times I try like few other areas, but my focus was in psychiatry, and psychiatry was become very competitive. So a lot of time that thought comes that why I'm sticking myself into psychiatry, I should try something else. But I think the interest I have in psychiatry was keeping me in that route, uh, and like I think doing more clinical work and more research in that specialty, keeping me engaged into that specialty. And plan B wise, I can say I started work already in research, so I have a source of earning, and so that I think I can suggest, if someone has an old year of graduation, do something, do some like mph or anything which you can feel that accelerate your skills in research or in your clinical skills. And in my case it was psychiatry, so it was psychotherapy was pretty evident. So maybe for your specialty it could be something. So find out that and do that, because like being an old graduate, you don't know when you're going to be matched. You need to be mentally stable and financially stable to the point that you can pursue your journey. You don't know when the big day come, but um, till that point you need to maintain your mental peace by doing something, and if it should be relevant to your speciality, that would ultimately help.
Right. Yes. Thank you. Another question that people keep asking is you mentioned networking and mentorship. How do you think that students and people on this path should go about finding mentors or even networking?
So it is very difficult, frankly speaking. It's not an easy thing to do, but and especially someone who is out of us, it's not an easy target, frankly. But the one thing I learned from all people and from my seniors, that do email people, let them know that you are interested, and when you're emailing them, just focus who they are and what kind of work they are doing. Don't just send random emails which does not target even anything about that person. Like suppose the person was cardiology and you're emailing a generic email, that doesn't last any impact on him. So try and work on it, and like just give some references that, okay, I saw this paper from your you published recently, and I find it very interesting, and I have a similar kind of interest. If you did some work, mention that. So I think sending those kind of emails would help a lot. And I think for me, like I worked, because most of my research work was in the COVID era where everything was closed. So the only opportunity I get it was working virtually, which is good, but at the same time it reduces a lot of exposure. So I think nowadays, because of the internet and being in the COVID era in the past, everybody is comfortable for virtual options, and it is acceptable now, which was not before in COVID. So work in those platforms. There are so many platforms working right now. Almost every program has some group where they're looking for students who they can work with. They can assess you and see how you're working. But in old days it was just observership or externship, and not many people has that opportunity to really do that. But now it's become more comfortable for everybody. It's same time increase the competition because everybody's in the pool. So make sure when you are on those platforms, perform well. Don't take it like you just enter and you didn't. Like when I started doing some virtual research, I was the one who don't know anything, but every day I learn things through YouTube, through internet. They are my teachers, and whenever I stuck, I ask my mentors. And do the self effort, keep yourself motivated, do produce something, like publish, like whatever your target is, so that you can be noticed. Do leadership, help other students, because you are not alone in the journey, you are with the people. So you need to make an impact on them. And IMG world is a very small world. If you did anything wrong, people know it. So be nice with your like peers, be kind with them. Maybe some people will match earlier than you, but it's fine. This is, everybody looks different. The people who work with me, every year I'm working with people and they matched and I did not, and next year I have another group. That's perfectly fine. It's part of journey. Like keep in mind, with red flags, it take a while. It's not going to be happen in 1 day or 2 day, but you need to like make a strategic plan, that how you're going to be move forward in it, and work on your other end, on your family part, that how long you're going to be pursue that journey. That is very important. If you're not in a peace of your mind, how you're going to give your output outside? So
Right.
like make a strategy, do some plan B also, and like improve yourself. Just think whatever opportunity comes to you, that's the last, and give your best in it.
Right. Yeah. That was a very helpful answer. Um, Another thing that comes to mind is, what do you think changed in your last cycle?
I think the one thing which changed was I was persistent working with the research group I was working, and um, my publications were drastically increased. I gained a lot of skills, which was noticed by people, and I think that that kind of being in the supervision of so many people were helping me to get matched.
Right. Yes. Another question that we have is, if you would have not matched this season, would you have stopped or would you have tried?
I don't think so. I was people who know me, they know me very well. I think I keep going.
Yeah, I think that's the reason you matched at the end.
Because in this cycle, like I think I have this question multiple times, like that I should quit, but I think even I want to, I cannot.
That has taken you this far, Dr. Adnan. It's actually very inspirational for all of us here.
I hope you all get matched in a nice program, and just contact me if you need any help. I can help definitely.
Thank you. We will reach out definitely. Um, Dr. Adnan, a lot of the times, even after putting in all the efforts and a lot of dedication, people go unmatched. Like even in your case, what would you tell them?
I think one thing I can say, that you cannot get anything before your destiny, right? In life there are things which, despite of a lot of effort, we cannot gain. So we have to tell ourselves every time that it's depend on what kind of personality you are also. Like there are people who are give up very easily, there are people who are hard in their journeys. And the first thing is you have to acknowledge the fact that what kind of candidate you are. If you are a candidate who had red flags in it, in that kind of scenario, you have to be open to yourself that it's not going to be an easy journey. You need to work thousand or million times more harder than anybody who is like having no red flags. And believe me, the old year of graduation, low scores are the biggest red flags in application. And if you fail any step, that would be add up spice in it. So like in that kind of scenario, you need to be open. Like you need to know that, okay, for me the journey is not easy. I need to work million times harder than anybody else. I might have places in my life where I have to make selections, that I have, should I go or should I not. In that kind of scenario, like when you start your journey, you have to be very mindful about it. And I think with the kind of family support and everything, that would ultimately goes and ultimately help you. And I think the main thing is your own motivation. If you are motivated and if you feel that you needs to do, you need to do that, this one, and this is something you need to really achieve it in your life, ultimately it would happen. Because you don't know when it's going to be happen. Maybe one day is a lucky day and maybe 1,000 days are not lucky for you. So you need to wait for that one day. And if you work really hard, you sooner or later you will be at that point. I cannot promise the day. Um, and as I talked to my mentor multiple times, and like I'm in this, I have the same question. So he said to me, I cannot promise which day it is, but it's going to be one day if you be persistent and be resilient in your journey. So that's, I can
Yes,
like quoted his words and give it to you. And by the way, these words are from Dr. Mansuri.
we guessed as much. It's very, very powerful words.
Yeah, no, but that's what he told me all the time. I have very rough road many places in my life. So I think whenever I feel that, I remember these words.
Yes, and they have taken you places.
Hmm.
Uh, Dr. Adnan, what do you think about? Oh, I'm sorry. I also wanted to ask. Apart from all of this, did you like you faced probably every imaginable roadblock in your journey? Did you address them? And if you did, how did you go about addressing them in your application or interview seasons?
See, the red flags, like low score is already happened. You're not going to change it. The year of graduation is something that's not going to be happening. It's whatever you do, you are not going to change that. And also the visa is a big problem. And some people do address it by getting married, but not everybody. I was already married. I have two boys, so I cannot address that. So those kind of things I can say that are non-addressable. But what is going to be addressed is your um, output, clinical and research. You can focus on building your personality and building your resume in the best possible way. When you're presenting in front of program, that work is like literally obvious. They can see that in you. Like last year, if you have like 2 publication and this year you have 25, it shows that what kind of hard work you put it. On top of it, you have 1 observership and now you have 5 observerships. So a person can think, okay, this person has 5 observership this year, and along with that, this person is able to manage 20 more papers. This person must have a fire in. So that's how you can. And if it's going to be persistent, and I think being an old graduate, what is most important is like you can stick with 2 or 3 programs and work with them, show your work with them, try and connect it. Like don't be generalize yourself everywhere, just stick with 2 or 3 places by doing observership, by doing virtual experiences, so they can really see you for a while, that are you a real suit for their program. And once they take you, they're very happy. So like that's what I can say, that red flags can be addressed by doing more clinical work, more research work, and also by focusing like few programs, not many, like a lot of them. Sorry.
Right. And how did you go about choosing your programs?
I applied everywhere, but like definitely the places where I'm working and I'm doing observerships are the places where I mainly apply. And I do the personalized personal statements for them. I do connect with them by sending emails, by letting them know that what are my publications and what are the things I'm doing with them. So I think those were the things which helped me to get the interview. And also, like when you're working with them, they know you already, like what kind of work relationship you can maintain with them. So those are the things were really helpful, I think.
Right. And would you suggest that people after their home country residency also take this path? Like in psychiatry, is it suggested?
In psychiatry, luckily, the people who did the home residency, a lot of program allow them to. If it's in psychiatry, they allow a lot of programs, because generally the psychiatric adult residency spots are less than the child psychiatry fellowship spots. So, like there is a retrograde pathway existing, which might be Dr. Mansoori already talked about, that people can get matched in child psychiatry with a home country psychiatry residency. They can use that pathway also, because I've seen people getting success with that, and it's the same pathway existing in internal medicine. There are a lot of fellowships which are not filled because fellowship spots are more than residency spots. So in that kind of scenario, if you have a home country residency, suppose in pediatrics or suppose in internal medicine, you can try geriatrics, you can try nephrology. There are some programs, but for those kind of spots, you need to focused when the match happen. Like you have to see each fellowship match date, that when it has happened, and when it happens, just try and find the program, email each of them and find out if they have any empty spots. I tried it for really long, but like I don't have like a like a full residency experience, so I was not able to get it. But someone who has like a full residency, they can go for that pathway. This pathway is very helpful, I think, for people who are who completed their residency back home.
Right. Yes. Yeah, I don't think, I think Dr. Mansoori touched on this yesterday, but I don't think a lot of people are aware of this.
Yeah, no, this pathway, but this is for people who are who completed their full residency,
Residency.
and not all fellowship spots are allowed. Like, I think in geriatrics it is still allowed. For child fellowship, I know they are taking, and I'm not aware of other specialities, but I know in psychiatry, especially in addiction medicine, some programs, not all programs, but few programs are taking people who are completed their back home residency in their respective specialty. Like, everybody has a different kind of criteria. Some people do accept only psychiatry fellowship, some people do accept like a broader way. You need to approach the program and find out. I've seen people last year getting child fellowship by using this route with a back home residency in psychiatry. So that might be something people can consider if they have a back home residency in psychiatry or in any other specialty.
Sure. Yes. Thank you, Dr. Adnan. Another question that I want to ask you is, why did you choose psychiatry?
I think everybody who's listening to me, they know that I'm
I
a
know.
talkative person. I like to talk.
Did
And
you always know that you wanted to go into psych?
no, I was not. Until I graduated from med school, I think psychiatry is not something I'm really thinking of. But I think with time and with few things happen in my life, I think I feel that it's something I'm really good in it and I can do it. And I think more I work within it, I feel more inspiration towards this speciality. And even right now, when I'm seeing my patients, I see that part of being connected with patient is relatively, like, um, is relatively better for me. But
Right.
like, I feel like more fulfilled when I'm helping those kind of patients.
Yeah. You feel like you can connect better with them.
I think it's your own. Like, it's not that, like, you have a personality, then you can become a psychiatrist. This is a skill you can learn easily. Being a psychiatrist is not that, like, you born with. You can easily make it. But like, that was something like I was interested, so I pursue that. But anybody who's interested in it, there are skills you can learn through psychotherapy, through doing courses where you know how to connect better. And definitely this skill is a very raw skill if you have it in hand, and it need to be focused so that you can give a better, outcome to your patient, because those patients are really vulnerable. You cannot like talk to them like a normal person. So that was one thing you need to be learned, and that's the whole point of doing training.
Yes. Yeah. Because a lot of the times, I think people often, like medical students, feel that this is a skill that you need to have already and it cannot be worked on.
No,
But like you said,
no, it can be worked on. It's not that you cannot work on that. A lot of people I've met who were not very talkative, but they're very good psychiatrists. Like, being connected with people is important, but that skill can be learned also. Every
thank you,
skill
Dr.
is learning.
Adnan.
Like, you can learn anything you want. The horizon is so broad.
Yeah, and with your journey, especially like before I wrap up this session, I just wanted to know if you could give one advice to applicants this season and the next season, what would it be? What would be the biggest takeaway from this journey?
I think one thing I can say to everybody is that never miss any opportunity. If it's a small opportunity, if you find someone who can tell you, okay, complete this paper in one day, do that. You don't know that person would be the person. Like, do your best, give your 100% in your journey. You ultimately, maybe it's not going to give you outcome immediately, but it will at some point. Use every opportunity you get it. Try and do your maximum in your journey. And for red flags, I've already told you that you need to use some special strategies to get match. You need to be more focused on your clinical work. You need to be more focused on your research work, try to connect more with people, and try to focus few programs where you were working. So those things would be like, I think, would be the best help for people who have red flags in their journey.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Adnan, especially for taking the time in the last minute to do this session and to share your journey. It's not an easy feat at all.
No, thank you very much. I'm happy that I can help the future candidate, and if anybody can um, inspire that and continue their journey and become do something in their life, I it's it's something really, I really want to do it for anyone who really wants to continue. And thank you very much for giving me opportunity to talk all of you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Take care. And I can give my email and email address, I think, to you, and or I can send it to Dr. Mansouri. Dr. Mansouri already had it. If anybody wants to approach me, they can.
If you can, if you don't mind, we sharing it, we can share them on the chat box too, so that any applicant who needs help can reach out to you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Take care,
Take
everyone.
care.
Bye.